Bye bye, Miss American Pie. We're gonna hit some forearms, some buys, and some tries. What the freak is up, y'all? We are freaking en route to a rather delicious arm day. And I say delicious because we got our food bump this week, and this is gonna be a nasty arm pump. I already feel it. Just besides the fact that we have new peptides in the mix, the IGF and the YK11, it's gonna be even freaking nastier. But that being said, the only thing that's kind of out of check a tiny bit today is I went to bed a little later than I usually do. And that kind of messes with it, you know? Even just an hour, like an hour, hour and a half later, still getting up at the same time. I got about like 7 hours of sleep last night as opposed to my usual like 8 to 9. Still kind of messes with it. I'm just a little bit on the tired side today. Tried to take a nap earlier, but you know, when you got caffeine in your system, it kind of messes with it. But anyways, that is not going to stop us from freaking bringing all the intensity that we can possibly bring to this arm day, because it's freaking arms. I mean, I was talking to my lady about it, and arms, I mean, this is a generalization, obviously, but arms to dudes, it's like booty to gals. You know, across the board, if you went up to 10 different lifters who are women and asked them, what would you want to hit if you could hit, you know, just that one thing for the rest of your life? Chances are they're going to say booty, you know, or something along those lines, like legs or something like that. For guys, it's probably going to be arms. I mean, you could make an argument for chest, maybe back, maybe shoulders, but I don't know, a good freaking arm day, that just sounds delightful, to say the least. But anyways, on the docket today, I think we're going to be doing something in the ballpark of thrashing some forearms, obviously. But for the biceps and triceps, we're probably going to be doing, you know, one push down movement and then follow that with some kind of like either stretching movement or pressing movement, you know, whether that's like a close grip press or that's like a skull crusher or like an overhead tricep press, something like that. But anyways, that is the freaking plan for today. For biceps, I don't know, like we'll just be kind of going off the program, but as long as I'm hitting something on the long head going into the brachioradialis and then the short head, I'm good to go. You know, we have the whole arm pump going on. So that's what we got going on. Now for the meditations, kind of did something today. So I had a really cool meditation this morning, and it was especially cool because it was a new me. You know, every day it's a new me that's showing up to these meditations. So what was different about this morning was obviously I was tired. So it wasn't like a crazy tired, it wasn't like I would rather sleep than meditate kind of tired, but it was definitely noticeable. Definitely a kind of tired that, you know, kind of distracted me at least a little bit from the mantra in the meditation. But what was really cool about that was the more gentle I was about redirecting my attention to the mantra, the easier it became. And the more restful I felt like I was being, because it wasn't like I was trying to force the mantra into place. It's not like I was like, all right, I just really gotta concentrate here. It's like, no, just, there's the mantra, let's just go back to it. And it's almost like that demeanor of just being gentle really freaking helped, because after a while, after a few reps of doing that, I honestly felt way more restful, or way more rested than when I started the meditation. And, there is something to be said about that. I mean, research has shown, like with this particular style of meditation, transcendental meditation, that they're, like, of the subjects that they had in their studies, there were quite a few people who reached a state, and they kind of assessed this based on, a lot of different physiological variables, like, blood pressure, their brain waves in their brain. And what they found was there were quite a few individuals who reached an even deeper state than the deepest state of rest that you would get in sleep. So what does that tell you? It tells you that this form of meditation is extremely valuable for not only just resting, but overall day-to-day stress management. I mean, this is almost, this to me, transcendental meditation is like, for stress management, it's like the pinnacle of stress management for me, because it works extremely well for me. Now, parallel that to bodybuilding, for muscle building, that is the pinnacle of muscle building, right? So you kind of pair those two up, and that's why I do transcendental meditation, because it is like peak stress management. I mean, because not only do you get to that extremely deep, restful state when you're doing transcendental meditation, but it's also day to day. Like, the effects that you get from those 20-minute sessions carry over tenfold. I mean, to everything you do, even to right now, just talking to you. It's a lot easier. Everything is a lot more coherent, clear, and cohesive. I mean, I still make mistakes. I still, just kind of, I mess up. But the way that you adapt to whatever's going on, and keeping your stress at a level that's going to help you grow as an individual, that's what transcendental meditation changes. Now, I've said this in the past, but the key to transcendental meditation is not just the mantra that you can find through that ChatGPT prompt that I have in my description below. It's not only just the mantra, it's coming back to it gently. And that is a skill in and of itself, because anytime that you kind of get frazzled, anytime that you get frustrated, like, man, I should really just focus on the mantra. That's not gentle. That is frustration, that's anger, that's all these different things other than being gentle. So that's why being gentle is so valuable as a skill, because it really helps you hone in on just the mantra and flowing with the mantra. That's the key to it, where it's, you can, I almost think of it like, how would you want to be on an everyday basis? How would you want to be with your kids, with your pets, I guess your pets are your furry children. Besides the point, how would you want to be with your loved ones, with people that you truly care about, your closest friends, even with yourself? I mean, do you want like a drill sergeant yelling at you to get back to the mantra, to keep doing keep doing the meditation, all angrily and frustrated? Like, no, that doesn't sound fun at all. To live your life like that just sounds like another freaking thing to do, and not a very fun one, if you ask me. So that being said, that's where we're changing the game, or at least I feel like I'm changing the game in terms of regularly doing this transcendental meditation practice and pairing it with bodybuilding. Because I started with movement. Like I started, like growing up, I was a very active kid. Like I always wanted to be doing something active. And so I had a lot of upbringing surrounded by managing my stress with physical stimulation, but I didn't really get it with mental stimulation. Like I just didn't really enjoy school, bouncing off the walls all the time. All I wanted to do was play soccer, or do taekwondo, or hang out with my friends. I just didn't really jive with the whole walk into a classroom, sit at a desk, and listen to somebody lecture, and then do an activity, homework at home. Like that wasn't my jam. Now, there is a caveat to that. Going into like a weightlifting class that I had in high school, that was freaking awesome. I got to do my own thing. I had my own program, and I just got to freaking lift weights and really have a lot of fun. So that being said, that was all movement. Now, it wasn't until I really got into meditation that I started to see a lot of the value in learning in general. Like that was kind of like my catalyst, because it was almost like I had this fear of, I don't even know what. Like it was like I basically just didn't want to learn, almost as like a status thing. Like I was like, nah, I don't need learning. I can just freaking do my own thing over here and have fun with these sports. But that only takes you so far. Now, once I got into meditation, I started to really get into, well, I take that back. It wasn't until I got into meditation. It was more so when I went into my first year at college, where I was like, wow, this is pretty freaking cool. I get to learn about the things that I'm interested in, which was, kinesiology in general, like the study of movement, study of the body, all that fun stuff. And when I got into meditation around like my second year of college, that's when I was like, whoa, learning can be enhanced tenfold. I mean, I didn't know learning could be so easy when I got into meditation, because I didn't realize the stress was the barrier for me to learn something new. So that's what I kind of found. One last thing that I'll kind of touch on before we get into this workout. I know this is a little bit longer of a rant, but the thing that I noticed last night when I got home, so I'm usually getting home beat from the day. Like I am, I'm working all day, working on the business all day, and then I go and train, and then I do my cardio after, and that's it. So I work 8 hours, go to train, work even while I'm doing my cardio and everything, and then I come back home and I am just freaking beat. And so that's usually when I kind of just tune out, do my own thing, eat my food, watch TV, whatever. But last night, I kind of changed it up. I was like, all right, I need to get this thing done for the business. So I'm just going to do this one thing. I'm just going to get it done so I don't need to deal with it tomorrow. Like that was my mindset for last night. But once I did that one thing, and it was just this VSL, like this video sales letter for my business, and basically I'm just setting up a landing page and putting the VSL on there, having ads that run to it. But besides the point, once I did that one thing, the VSL, which was like a 20-minute video, it wasn't like a little thing, like a little clip that I needed to, like it was like a very in-depth thing with a PowerPoint, Like, I put a lot of time and effort into it, but I was already set up. I already did all the grunt work. All I needed to do was just record it. And so I recorded it, barely used the script that I wrote up. Turns out I didn't really need it. I had the PowerPoint right there as just bullet points, and then, I kind of improv'd and just spoke to what I thought would bring the most value. And once I did that one thing that, I went home and I did it, I felt a sense of accomplishment that I hadn't felt in a long time. Because, you kind of get used to a lot of the mini accomplishments along the way. Like, it's like, oh, cool, I got a client today. Nice. Oh, cool, I did my workout today. Nice. Oh, cool, I got all my meals in. Nice. Those kind of accomplishments, awesome. Like, I definitely enjoy those. But there's a certain point where you kind of get used to them, and then you kind of forget, like, wait, I'm accomplishing all these great things. Alright, yeah. But doing that new thing, like that thing that was very hard because I was really tired and I really didn't want to do it, but I did it anyways, that sense of accomplishment, amazing. That was freaking incredible, because I felt like I was looking forward to the challenge after that. Like, after I did that, I was like, yeah, I'm ready for another one. Like, let's get some more work done. And so that kind of let me know, like, if you enjoy the challenge, you're freaking unstoppable. Like, you can just keep going and going and going because you're enjoying it. It's not like you're, like, at first it might seem like a chore, but after a while, like, if you just keep enjoying the challenge and pushing through the difficulty, man, there is no one that can stop you. That is for freaking sure. So that's kind of my 2 cents on all that. But anyways, got really nothing much else to add to that. Let's just go freaking destroy some arms.